someone is totally taken over by thoughts of you. But right now, you cannot be together with them. Your inner sense already knows this is real. Even when your thoughts try to push it aside, take a slow breath and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not random, and it is not something you made up in your head. The person who just came into your mind did not appear there without reason. There exists a strong, quiet connection between you two, one that neither of you can completely describe or simply leave behind. It is not just a quick idea that passes. It is something deep, steady, and impossible to ignore. They feel pulled toward you in a manner that is both strong and held back carefully. A kind of emotion they have never really let themselves have until now. Still, something keeps you separated. Something makes this link feel not allowed. And knowing exactly why this is happening will change how you look at every single thought, every feeling, and every shared moment. Even when there is physical distance between you, someone out there is fully consumed by you. But this special link is not something that is permitted right now. This whole situation shows two important realities that you need to understand completely. Take a slow and careful breath before you keep going, because this message did not reach you by accident. The person who appeared in your thoughts right now is there with a purpose. There is someone connected to your life, or someone who keeps coming up in your mind without being asked, who shares a very deep bond with you. It is not a short-lived emotion. It is not light. And it is not something that will fade quickly. It is profound. It is constant, calm, and always there in the background. They are drawn to you, but not in a loud, wild, or showy manner. It is a measured, held-in kind of feeling, something they have never let themselves experience in the past. Yet this link feels totally restricted, not because there is no love present, but because something blocks the way ahead. That restricted nature shows two very important realities. These realities explain why the connection feels so strong, why there is space between you, and why neither of you can completely move forward or let go of what is there. This space is made exactly for the people who sense things that others cannot put into words. You must first accept one basic fact. When a relationship feels limited, it does not mean there is any weakness involved. In reality, it often means the complete opposite. Restricted connections are rarely surface level. They do not start when life feels easy and smooth. They do not come from boredom or empty moments. They are not created from loneliness or a quick attraction that passes. They come from a deep recognition inside the heart and the thoughts. This person did not choose to develop these feelings for you on purpose. It happened slowly at first and then suddenly altogether. At the beginning, you were just someone they noticed. Then you became someone they respected. Then someone they trusted. And then, without really knowing how, you turned into the person they could not stop thinking about. What makes it restricted is not the lack of true emotions. It is the situation, the timing, the duties, the worries, and the moral lines that stand in the way. This is the point where the first important reality appears. This person fights an inner struggle every day because of you. They are not battling against you. They are dealing with their own deep feelings. They wake up already thinking of you and right away tell themselves why they should not follow those ideas. They go over your past talks in their head and then scold themselves for smiling about it. They picture what being close to you would be like, and then they force those pictures away because wanting you seems risky. Not risky for their feelings, but for the life they have created and the values they have followed for so long. For some people, this means they are already with someone else. For others, it involves family pressure, cultural rules, social duties, or moral boundaries they learned never to break. Sometimes one of you is simply not free in a way that makes things very complicated. Sometimes the link challenges everything they thought they wanted from life. Instead of taking action, they hold themselves back. Instead of talking, they stay quiet. Instead of coming closer, they watch from far away. And here is something many people fail to notice completely. Silence does not always mean there are no feelings. More often, it means the emotions are so strong that they become hard to control. This person is not calm at all when it comes to you. Their emotions are powerful, but they show them only in complete quiet. They do not speak because speaking might open a path they fear they cannot close again. They do not take steps because acting would make them face results they are not ready to handle. They do not come nearer because being close would reveal things they have hidden even from their own mind. Carl Jung once explained that what you fight against becomes even stronger. That is exactly what is happening in this situation. Every time they try not to reach out, the emotion grows more intense. Every time they pull back, the connection becomes tighter. Every time they refuse their true feelings, the link goes deeper into the background instead of disappearing. And feelings that are pushed down do not simply go away, they become more powerful as time passes. It explains why you sense them even when they are not physically near. It explains why thoughts of them come at unexpected times without any effort from you. It is why your mood changes for no clear outside reason. You might feel their presence around you, even in peaceful moments. You might notice a flow of unfinished energy passing between you. That happens because hidden emotions do not fade away. They stay and wait for their time. Carl Jung said that until the unseen parts of the mind are accepted, they will keep guiding your life, and you might see that guidance as simple fate. Much of what joins you now is hidden, not spoken, and not settled, because it stays in the shadows. It moves underneath, creating tension, strong emotions, and inner struggles. This person holds you in their private thoughts quietly while the outside world sees only a calm and steady face. They might look settled and balanced, but inside there is a constant pull in opposite directions, wanting something followed right away by holding back. This is not because you mean little to them. It is because you matter so much that it creates fear. They worry about upsetting lives, going against their values, or starting something they cannot stop. If you've experienced this kind of silent pull with someone, that inner fight is very tiring. It is why the connection sometimes feels to carry. It is why the strengths exist even without direct talk. It is why being apart does not bring real calm. Jung also wrote that when two people meet, it is like two chemical substances touching. If any reaction takes place, both become changed forever. You have already been influenced. Both of you, whether you realize it or not, have been deeply altered just by knowing each other. Something inside you has changed from feeling them. This is not something imaginary. This is not a mistake. This is a connection that goes past normal logic and usual explanations. And this is exactly why time by itself cannot remove it. It is not kept alive by routine. It is kept alive by its true importance. Jung wrote that where love leads, there is no wish for control. In this link, control is not the goal, and power is not what drives it. That is why it can feel so confusing at times. There are no games here. There is no trying to manipulate between you. They are simply two people touched by something they never expected and do not know how to fit into their normal daily lives. As this understanding grows, one reality becomes very obvious. You are not just a passing distraction. You are not an error. You cannot be swapped or copied by anyone else. You are part of a story that has already started moving, both of you, toward a deeper and more honest view of who you are. As that view keeps growing, the real meaning of this restricted bond will continue to show itself step by step, patiently and gently until the next reality is ready to appear. If you are still here listening, you are already among the few special people who are ready to face what most others either spend their whole lives avoiding. Most people pass by messages like this, not because they do not feel anything, but because it touches them too strongly. What you are about to hear does not only describe restricted links and quiet love. It will change forever how you understand yourself. As that reality sinks in, something else becomes hard to overlook. This connection does not act like a usual attraction. It does not grow weaker with distance. It does not disappear through thinking alone. It does not fade just because it causes problems. Instead, it follows both of you quietly, like a shadow that is not owned by one person, but created by what happens when you connect. You might notice that even when you are busy and life needs your full focus somewhere else, this person returns to your thoughts without any trying on your part. It is not because you are purposely reaching for them. It is because something not yet settled keeps rising up. The same process is happening on their side too. They might spend days looking completely unaffected. They might seem totally involved in their job, their family, their daily tasks, and their duties. But the mind tends to return again and again to what it cannot finish. They recall how you made them feel truly understood without having to say much. They remember how easy it felt to just be themselves with you. The sense and the strange feeling of having known you for a long time. They remember moments that meant more than they should have. And that is exactly why it disturbs them. Once you feel truly seen at such a deep level, you cannot remove that experience. This is where many people get the idea of restricted connections wrong. They think the distance exists because one person feels less. But The truth is often completely the opposite. Distance is not always caused by weak feelings. Sometimes it is caused by feelings that are too strong. This person knows that if they move even one step closer, they might not be able to go back to who they were. They feel that something permanent waits on the other side of being completely honest, and they are not yet ready to break apart the life they have built so carefully, even if that life no longer matches who they are turning into. So they pick control instead of openness. They pick their current setup instead of the full strength of their emotions. They pick the discomfort they already know instead of a truth they cannot yet trust completely. But there is a price for that decision. Every time they push down what they really feel, it does not vanish. It changes into something different inside them. It comes out as restlessness, as distraction, as a continuing sense of emotional distance from the people they should be fully with. They might start to question relationships that once seemed solid and safe. They might feel something is missing without being able to name it exactly. They might wonder why they no longer feel satisfied with answers that used to bring them comfort. They may never say your name out loud during those times, but you become a silent inner measure. You stand for a kind of emotional honesty that they have not yet allowed themselves to live. This is why the connection always feels like it is not finished. It is not only about two people missing each other. It is about two lives standing at the beginning of a big and unavoidable change. You feel this too. Even if you cannot say it clearly, you might see that after this person came into your life, your expectations changed quietly without any announcement. What you are ready to accept in a relationship now feels different. What you truly want has become more clear. What you once put up with without thinking now feels empty and not enough. You might find yourself less willing to stay with someone who is only halfway there emotionally. You might have less patience for links that lack real depth. You are now very aware of what true connection feels like. That awareness did not come from nowhere. It came from recognition. This is where the second layer of meaning starts to show itself. This connection is not only about wanting someone, it is about waking up inside. Some relationships are meant to create a shared future together. Other relationships exist to wake you up to your own inner truth. This one belongs fully to the second type, not because it can never grow into more, but because its main purpose is happening inside you. You met this person at exactly the right time in your life when something inside you was ready to be moved. And they met you at the exact moment when they were quietly doubting the life they had been living, even if they never said that doubt out loud to anyone. This is why the pull feels both very strong and very confusing at the same time. You act as mirrors for each other. You show the parts they have kept hidden. They bring out the sides of you that were waiting to come into the open. This type of connection does not follow normal timing. It does not hurry. It does not announce itself with clear and direct signs. It works slowly inside you to change your main priorities, your deepest values, and your understanding of what is truly important. In quantum ideas and in the meaningful timing that Jung studied, it marks the exact point when the hidden becomes seen, when two energies that have been moving toward each other finally come together. That is exactly why even the silence between you feels full of energy, because something is still active underneath it. You might wonder why letting go feels impossible, why thinking cannot end it, why telling yourself nothing can happen does not really create freedom. It is because this bond is not kept going by dreams alone. It is kept going by a truth that has not yet been fully lived, and a truth that has been truly felt cannot be forgotten or thrown away. You are not just holding on to a person. You are holding on to an experience of emotional clearness that changed you forever. And they are going through exactly the same process. This does not mean you should wait forever. It does not mean you should stop your life. It does not mean you should give up your present for a maybe future. It means you should completely understand what this connection is trying to teach you. It is showing how deeply your heart can actually feel. It is showing you the type of connection that gives energy instead of taking it away. It is reminding you that real emotion goes beyond what is simply easy or without risk. And it is doing exactly the same for them, whether they admit it or not. What comes next cannot be pushed or created on purpose. It cannot be sped up by wanting alone. It cannot be changed by silence or by going after them. This is because this kind of bond only opens fully when honesty becomes stronger than fear. Until that point is reached, it stays in a space between not gone but not fully here either. It is alive in thoughts, alive in emotions, and alive in those peaceful moments where truth speaks softly instead of loudly. As time keeps passing, the tension between who they have been and who they are truly turning into will keep growing stronger. The same thing is true inside you. Eventually, something has to change because a mind that has truly woken up does not go back to sleep. And when that change comes, it will not happen just from wanting it strongly. It will happen from being truly ready. Readiness does not come with big announcements or dramatic actions. It comes quietly through built up discomfort and the slow, clear understanding that something inside no longer matches the life being lived. For them, this often starts as a small break. They begin to see that the parts they play feel heavier than they did before. Duties they once accepted easily now feel like limits. Their usual emotional patterns feel empty, even when everything on the outside looks fine. You are not the reason for that break. You are the light that showed what was already present. You did not make their life unstable. You simply lit up the parts that were already not matching. That is exactly why this connection feels risky to them. Not because it endangers their daily safety, but because it threatens the carefully kept picture of the life they built. Comfortable lives are often made from carefully kept illusions. Truth requires taking responsibility. Truth needs courage. Truth asks someone to face what they feel and decide if they have the strength to live that way. Many people are not ready for that decision when the feeling first appears. So they wait longer. They create reasons to delay. They tell themselves it is only a short phase